Welcome into LSN Extra. I'm Jay the Quake. Today we're going to be sitting down with the new Norton football head coach, Robb McCoy, taking over the reins from Bill McCarthy this season. He's trying to lead the Lancers back to their first MIAA Super Bowl appearance since 2008. When he was the head coach, this is going to be his second stint with the Lancers, trying to lead them back to that Super Bowl appearance, which was their first since the 1980s when he did it in 2008. We're going to sit down and talk with him today about what do you expect from this program and what you expect from the stands this season for the Lancers. All right, guys, welcome into the interview. We're here with Coach McCoy. Coach, thank you for joining us. I know you've been clamoring for an interview for a long time. Thank you for joining us today. How you doing?
It's good, buddy. How you doing?
Doing good. Welcome back to the Norton program. First of all, you'd previously coached this team up until the 2008 season where you led them to the Super Bowl with current Norton High School baseball assistant coach Sean Ryan as your running back. How does it feel to be back with the program?
It's great. It's great. It's a good group of kids. I'm very excited to be back.
Now, you've had a lot of prior experience coaching at both the high school and college level. How has that prepared you for your second stint here at the Lancers?
I think just, feeling comfortable with what I'm doing, kind of knowing the routines of the different stuff that need to get done. And, I've been teaching here for 13 years now, so very familiar with the school, familiar with the kids. So being with the program since March has certainly helped with that transition as well.
And you've been with them throughout the offseason and stuff, which really has helped as well as knowing the kids as well.
It's huge. Yeah, I mean, we started camp and it felt like any of the seasons when I was here in 06, 07, and 08. Just the familiarity level and the comfort level, and the kids knew, what we were looking for in terms of work ethic out of them, and I certainly knew mobility levels and stuff like that starting, not football wise, but conditioning wise. So it was good. It was a very easy transition.
Now, switching back to your coaching career, who's had the biggest impact on your coaching career so far?
We'll go with Jack Peavy. Jack Peavy was the head football coach at Bishop Fee when I first started coaching there, and had a tremendous amount of success early on as a young coach. I learned a great deal from him. He's still a very good friend of mine to this day. We speak 3 or 4 times a week. So I would say Jack Peavy.
And you guys had quite a run back at Bishop Fee. What was it? 3 state championship appearances in a row?
Yeah, I was there for 3 of the state championships in a row. And it was, I was there for 4 years. We won 4 league titles, 3 state championships in a row. Extremely fortunate, great kids, great coaches. I was very lucky to, have that in my young coaching career.
Now, last season for the team, they ended the regular season on a 3-4 record, got some momentum in the playoffs, but ended the season with a 3-4 record. What do you plan on improving on this year?
Everything. I mean, if you go into the season, not looking to improve everything, I think, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Obviously, the system is different. Offensively, defensively, the expectations are different overall with everything that we do. So I would just say that, the expectations are a lot higher, and, we're a little bit more demanding.
And the defense last year, that was one of the big things, one of the numbers that stood out. They averaged giving up 301 yards per game. Is that something you guys are really focusing on in practice here in the early going?
I had no idea, that number, but I would, we're focused on everything defensively. We're obviously focused on limiting the big plays, but, stopping the run is a big part of that. And it's going to be tough to win ball games when you're giving up over 300 yards rushing a game. So, the point of emphasis with everything defensively is, solid, sound, safe tackling and pursuit. So that's kind of what we rely on.
Now, one of the biggest changes I've heard from members around the team this offseason is the strength and conditioning program. What's your philosophy behind that?
Speed, and more speed. Especially at the high school level. Size is great, but you win with speed. And really just finishing, finishing and working hard. And, we believe that you win football games in the offseason. And if you take care of that stuff in the offseason, that, the things will take care of itself during the season. And the offseason has been incredible.
And your team, they've really been getting at it in the offseason. It started with captain's practices way back last year, almost before you were named head coach.
Yep.
And it started throughout the winter. Is that kind of seen as something that's really helped the team in the early going?
Absolutely. When we started camp, we weren't. When I first got here in 2006, it took us 2 weeks to finish a practice. It took the kids 2 weeks to figure out how to meet that demand and that expectation level for what we were looking for. We started and had no issues with that at all. And it's difficult for kids to learn a new system or learn anything if you're tired. And they weren't tired. So that was the big thing. We didn't have to worry about getting them in shape. So they were able to absorb and understand the stuff that we were doing, which is why, kind of where we are at this point in preseason, which is a place I didn't think we would be. We're a lot further ahead than where I thought we would be at this point.
So second time around with the team, is it kind of more that you're trying to get their players more conditioned so that when you start on camp that day, they're more conditioned than they ever were before?
Oh, absolutely. And in 06, I didn't get hired until June, so I only had, a couple months in the summer with them. This time around it was March, and it was school. So, when you're in school, you kind of control the variables a little bit more because you can see the kids every day in school and in the class, the hallways and in the lunchroom. Once you hit summer, kind of everybody goes their different ways, and kids work and different types of things. But yeah, I mean, even March is a little bit later than most programs. Starting things usually start things up in January, but we're real happy with the progress that we made in the offseason.
And a lot of the players, they're real excited for the season. I've heard a lot of them saying that they've improved a ton.
Yeah.
And hopefully that goes out in the field.
I hope so. I mean, this is a really, really good group of kids. We have a 16-member senior class and 17 juniors. So, I mean, it's junior, senior dominated, a lot of experience, a lot of great kids. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, camp really has been a lot of fun. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't have come back if it weren't for this group of kids. But just knowing them in school and being around them, it was a group that I wanted to coach.
And with a great group of kids, it all starts with great senior captains. And you have three great captains in Lucas Combs, Tyler Elliott, and Jacob Chapman. What do each of them bring to the table for the team?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a quiet leadership. It's a leadership by example. The seniors and even to some degree the juniors are good leaders. And, those three have a ton of playing experience, have been out there a lot, have been here, and we're gonna rely on their leadership. But I would say it's more leadership by example than it is by words and hooting and hollering, so to speak.
And one of your captains, Lucas Combs, he went down with an ACL injury, which is just an awful injury for a kid who's really a big member of almost every sports season here in Norton. How have you guys been able to combat that here?
Yeah, I mean, your heart breaks for a kid like Luke, who's been a huge member of the football program for the past 3 years. And like I told the kids, our success, whether he's on the field or not on the field, is going to be because of him. What he's already done for the program, what he's done in the offseason, the leadership that he provides, the stuff that he's going to do for us. So, but, the reality of it is he's not going to be out there, so we got to go to the next guy, and we feel really good about the rest of the crop of backs that we have.
Now, moving over to the quarterback position, you don't exactly have the Nick Saban problem, but you have a very good QB in Tyler Elliott, who's going to be his third season as the first-string QB. What are you seeing from him this preseason?
Seen a lot. He is an impressive young man. He's very athletic. He's very smart. And again, he's got that quiet confidence about him, and he is a leader with his actions. Getting the job and watching film from last year, they ran a lot of option, and he was a good runner. But I've been particularly impressed with the way he throws the ball. He throws the ball pretty well, and we've been able to do some different things with him. But he is the leader of our offense, and as the leader of your offense, he's really the leader of the team, and he's gonna take us.
And last year, he did very good passing. Didn't have a ton of opportunities, but only threw 6 interceptions in 100 attempts, which is very good for him. And you want to see that carry over to this year.
Absolutely. Ball security is job security. that cliche. But I don't think we've had, knock on wood, I don't think we've had a turnover in both of our scrimmages, except for a special team one. So far. So we've done a pretty good job taking care of the ball, and Tyler's good with it. He makes good decisions with the football, and that, I think that comes back to his experience that he's had. Although the system's different, him being on the field, he's started 24-something games under center, so nothing's going to be too big for him.
Now, what's been the biggest surprise for you that you've seen coming out of preseason?
The knowledge of the kids in their grasping and understanding of the new schemes. But again, I think that speaks to their commitment in the offseason. The fact that we've come into camp in shape, and the fact that they haven't had to worry about that stuff, and they're just focusing on what we're doing scheme-wise, offensively and defensively. So I'd say that is the biggest, surprise so far. You never know what you have until you start working with it, and they've done a really good job.
And this year, you have a pretty big freshman class. What's your advice to them as they go towards their first game on Thursday for the freshman team?
Yeah. just keep getting better. You know, we talk all the time that you never stay the same. You either get better or you get worse. You either take a step forward or you take a step back. So I'm hoping that they just keep taking steps forward and stick with it and keep working. They're doing a good job. They've had 2 scrimmages, and they've done a really good job. It's 14 of them, but they've done a good job. It's a good group.
It's very good to hear. And now most football players, coaches, fans are huge fans of the show Friday Night Lights. What player best describes this team?
Let's go with Riggins. Absolutely, why not? Let's just go
Everybody
with Riggins.
loves Tim Riggins.
Yeah, who doesn't love Tim Riggins?
Exactly.
Yeah, I would say we're a Riggins type group. Very blue collar. This is a blue collar group of kids. Very tough group of kids. Not very vocal, and they just find a way to get their job done and move on.
Hopefully it ends up like the Dome Panthers in Friday Night Lights and ends with a few state championship appearances.
That'd be nice, right?
So now let's play the what-if game here. Last question before
Yeah.
you let you go. Imagine it's the Friday after Thanksgiving. What's the headline going to read in the Sun Chronicle sports section about this Lancer team
This year,
this year?
Lancers have a final tune-up for Gillette.
That's what we love to hear.
Yeah.
Now, what's that going to read 5 years from now?
Lancers get a final tune-up for Gillette.
That's what we love to hear. All right, this is Coach McCoy. They're going to be playing Holliston on Friday right here behind us at Robert Adams Field. We'll be covering it here at LSN. Coach, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck.